letting go for a deeper and stronger connection. Today I want to talk a little bit about the essence and that feeling of letting go in a relationship that you value, right? Because letting go isn't just about cutting off, giving up, letting that other person have the freedom. But what if letting go can mean that you can be closer? So at a certain point in my life, I was alone a lot because the husband's work requires him to travel for an extended period of time. I think that was the hardest when my daughter was much younger. So I wanted to create a lot of situations that kind of creates trouble so that I can make my husband feel guilty or worried, that he's not around. And on one day on the train, I just started really questioning myself. How is it that when he's not around, that more bad things happen? So unconsciously, I begin to see that maybe I'm self-sabotaging me. And do I need to do that? And the moment I think I saw that, I felt this huge weight kind of just drop off from the body. The frustration and anger kind of just dissolved away. It's like suddenly everything just clears up. There's this clarity. And now I see how I own my own happiness in a different way. There's a lot more space for the husband as well. Like he definitely feels less worried, less guilt. And obviously when I'm joyful and I'm light, it's definitely better for him. But what is this about, right? And I spent time thinking, what exactly is this thing that happens within me that causes this easing and this lightening? And I begin to see these two things. I saw a quote recently that says the opposite of grasping, is intimacy. And I love that. It's that all along we think that we have to hold on tight to be close to something. But what if when we let go, we can actually be even closer? And I thought of this metaphor of a knot. You know how when we have a tricky knot on a plastic bag and we can't seem to get it out, but we have this impulse to want to just keep tugging at the ends, and somehow it makes it tighter and harder to untangle. And the truth is, we actually need to let go of the ends if we start to be gentle and actually use our fingers to gently feel the knot. And to look closely, we actually need to go close to watch, to see where the knots are troubling, how it travels around. Then with a very gentle touch, we can start to loosen it. And I think that's the essence of it, is that when we hold on really tight, we want to pull it apart, we tend to rupture the bag. But because we're not looking closely we're disconnected from it, and we're just only connected to our frustration. But when we let go, we loosen, we start to have this gentleness, this patience, this kindness, or even this sensual touch to it. You get a real sense of how the knot is, and that you have a real chance of untying it or untangling it. And the harder we cling in a relationship, the stronger the expectations we have in exchange for all that effort and spent energy that we use to try to control and cling on. So when our loved ones don't behave the way we expect, the more frustrated and resentful we become. And then practicing that essence of, how can I loosen that grip without giving up? How can I start to be a bit more gentle and kind to that situation? And that's the first point of loosening. And then the second idea that I felt that was really key to why it works is this idea of safety. Without... So the fundamental need for most relationships is that sense of connection, real, authentic connection, that we're here for each other. And to feel connected, we need to feel safe. When we put a lot of tension and tightness in holding on, or that sense of wanting to control what is happening in that relationship, we are actually unconsciously wanting our loved ones or ourselves to be a certain way. So it speaks of this non-acceptance, this sense of rejection, resentment, and that makes us feel unsafe. And when there is no safety, connection cannot happen. And so these two essence, just remembering that what it feels like to loosen, remembering the metaphor of the plastic bag, and understanding that at the back of it, that human beings, we need safety. And with safety, it means that we need acceptance, we need non-judgment, we need love. And see, how would you then change your reaction or response when you feel a lot of tightness and tension in a relationship? Because without that base feelings of anger, longing, frustration, that is when we can enjoy being present and also the presence of each other more. We can pay better attention without that biased judgments. And you can release your loved ones from unnecessary guilt. Release them from your own neediness. And so the same thing can go for any kind of relationship, with your children, your parents, your best friend. So if you've heard of this phrase, love them and you let them go, and that a lot of times, maybe it's not about that sense of breaking up, but in fact it could be about going closer, but it's more about loosening. And a huge part of it is actually beginning to learn to love yourself. And so if you sit with me, take a moment of breathing, just notice, and it's always that simple idea. When we sit and it's not just about watching our breath. We are easing into our presence. We are trying to notice where there might be tension, where there might be tightness. Right now in your body, is there any tension or tightness? Can I practice softening and loosening? And from that basis of practice, we begin to see the parallels in our life as well, of where we need to loosen and soften. Much love.